There she is, boys. You're home for 12 days.
Yeah. Tubesy!
This is my beautiful girlfriend, Alex. My good friend, Sam.
What's going on, mate? You know the rules.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Match on!
How am I gigi?
Now I hear you're a bit of a legend around these parts.
Before bull surfed out here, these islands practically didn't exist.
There it is, 12 hours offshore, right in the middle of nothing.
Tomorrow night we'll cross the line, sail into paradise.
For 12 days out here, we're all going to have a great time, but there's one thing that can blow it, and that's where one dickhead ruins it for the whole team.
You like fishing?
Who doesn't?
My advice is, don't be that dickhead.
The story came from, I went on a surfing trip to Indonesia once, and a few years ago, and I was on a boat, and I noticed on another boat there was a bunch of guys, surfers, and these things are, I mean, they are kind of pressure cookers anyway. And I noticed another boat had a couple of girls on it, and those guys were ripping in their hair out, you know, and one of the guys in the surf, I noticed him talking to his mate, looking back at the boat where these girls were on, his boat, and he turned to his mate and just said, "Oh, let's just take her to the beach and do her." And I went, "Oh my God, what do you do in that situation? How do you stop that person if that's his intention? How do you stop him in a place where there's no police, you can't just, you know, escape?" The whole point for me was to make a film that in far as putting a twist on the genre, it was to make a film that was suspenseful and thrilling, but based on a situation that we could all actually be in. To me, a lot of the times when someone is in that situation and they pick up a knife and start stabbing another person, I kind of go, "Oh, you've lost me," because that's not really, it's taken it out of a realistic situation. So it was our intention to try and make something as realistic as possible.
And believability was a really important part of it, and the interesting part of the test screening so far is that a lot of girls have walked out going, I go out on a Saturday night and I know girls like this. And this is in reference to the character Sam. I know people who behave that way. And I think if for me, certainly the thing that I would love to see is boyfriend, girlfriend walk out of seeing the film and they argue about responsibility, because there's a lot of that within the film.
My character is Sam, and she finds herself through a friend on this surf charter, and apparently it's not the place for girls. So she's recently broken up with her boyfriend. She's just looking to get away from the life that she had. It doesn't turn out that way because there's a couple of single guys on the boat and she's the only single girl, and they're both trying to show a little bit of interest, and Sam's nature is to give them a little bit back. And so before she knows it, she finds herself in a bit of a aggressive triangle.
Bull's character, I think, basically represents someone who hasn't necessarily understood or felt loved and wanted, perhaps, and seeks out certain things in life that he thinks that he should be doing, as opposed to, you know, what would be closest to his soul, perhaps. And as a result of that, he gets put into these situations that he doesn't necessarily manifest himself, but he finds himself in these situations that all of a sudden things are a little bit out of control, things are a little bit beyond. And once that ball starts rolling, it's very difficult for him to step back and say, "Oh, okay, well, I have to be diplomatic or rational about this." And I think that, you know, there's a lot of, certainly when I was growing up, I met a few of these particular characters, you know, in different sort of circumstances in my life.
Hey, Sam, would you trust me?
Yeah, of course. What's going on over there? Doesn't seriously believe his own bullshit, does he?
How was she?
We took a cast and crew of 16 people to the Maldives for a month, put them on a boat, and it was really important for us that we shot the film chronologically, so that as things kind of hit the fan, we were at that point on the boat. So 2 weeks into the shoot, I think 16 of us were starting to get a little bit edgy.
So the beauty for us was that we got a film that the boats acted as our transportation, our accommodation, they were the set, they were everything.
Catering.
The catering, they did absolutely everything. The only thing, about a week before the film, I saw there was a new line in the script that Adam had added, which was, "and the dolphins cavort along the front of the boat." And I'm going, where's the animal wrangler coming from? But when you see the film, you'll see what an amazing place the Maldives is.
My attitude towards it was, you know, we're all going to be stuck on a boat. You know, I don't have to worry about people driving home or being put in cabs to get here. I knew where everyone was, and they couldn't escape me, so it was perfect.
I was living, breathing, sleeping the character of Sam. I mean, I put it away at the end of the night, and as did Ben, thank God. It was really easy to feel that sort of like space closing in on you, and that feeling of there was no escape, because that's how it felt for the actors as well.
And certainly my process leading up to the film, and knowing that we were going to be in close proximity with each other as actors, as people, and as our characters, we had all of that going on at the one time. There was never a point really that we could back away and sort of go, okay, this is just my time. How we managed to do that, I'm not entirely sure, but we did.
Damien, our cinematographer, we shot on this camera called a
Sony XDHD.
Sony XDHD. But the amazing thing was that at the end of the day, we had to set up a separate monitor and transfer all the rushes onto another tape, and which we did in basically the dining room on this boat. And it was fantastic, because immediately all of us could sit there at the end of each day and watch what we'd shot that day. And, you know, it was such a kind of like a bonding experience for the whole cast and crew to be able to do that. Digital is, I'll embrace digital on everything I do, just the ease and simplicity of it. And it looks amazing. You know?
The revolution for us is of recent, fairly large, major blockbuster features that have had the cinemas convert in terms of screening, so that's fantastic for us too. So we can finish an amazing looking film in HDSR and distribute that way.
We had an awesome preparation actually. We all got together, the whole cast, and just workshopped the script for the weeks leading up to getting on that boat. And we were in a big room just reading through, seeing what worked, you know, reading it out, feeling the chemistry between people, what lines worked, what lines didn't work. And so we really had got to know each other before we got on that boat. So we were kind of knew what we were expecting and felt ready to go, so that we could just start shooting on day one.
Obviously, because of the limited budget, there was a lot of stuff that we had to do on our own time in preparation beforehand, in order to be prepared, you know, properly for the film. For day one, we're bang on the money. We don't have to worry about any of the sort of other things that can confuse us and slow us down. We can just jump headlong into it and go for it. So Adam sort of said, I know that you know the character. I want you to do what you feel is right, and of course having his guidance as the director along the way. And if I was perhaps taking something a little bit too far or not taking it far enough or so on, you know, he was very generous in that way, that he let me sort of play around with the character.
Sydney Festival is really important to us. It's actually it's a premiere for us. It's our first screening. To be able to do that in our hometown, you know, Adam's had certainly experience with the festival before with short films, so it's really important for us to public reaction, the theatre goers that are going to watch the movie here. It's excellent for us.
I mean, the Sydney Film Festival is so exciting for us. I first went to the festival in 1989 when I turned 18, and ever since then it's always been like, to be in the Sydney Film Festival is probably the first place I'd want the film to show, you know.
Why did you invite him?
Call my mom! Get him away!